She is 21 years old. She is from the Philippines, and she just walked into a $7.4 million tournament and looked a former world number 3 dead in the eye without flinching. Alexandra Eala was not supposed to be here yet. Not by the rankings, not by the seedings, not by any reasonable timeline. But nobody handed her that memo, because this is a young woman who beat a top 3 player in a title match, cracked the world's top 20, and turned every arena she has stepped into this summer into a home game. Now, Amanda Anisimova, a 2-time Grand Slam finalist, stands across the net from her in Cincinnati with a spot in the 4th round on the line. This is not a feel-good underdog tale anymore. This is a takeover in progress. Some matches sit on the schedule and wait to be watched. Others feel like they were written specifically to be unmissable. The 3rd-round meeting between Eala and Anisimova at the Lindner Family Tennis Center in Mason, Ohio, is the second kind through and through. On one side, a fearless 21-year-old riding the best stretch of her career. On the other, a 24-year-old who has already walked out for 2 major finals and knows exactly what that pressure tastes like. Before either woman had struck a warm-up ball, tour writers were already calling it the marquee matchup of the tournament. And here is what makes it even sharper. These two have never played each other. No history, no patterns, no old scars to draw confidence or caution from. Whatever happens gets written live, in front of a Cincinnati crowd that has quietly become something like a second home for Eala, thanks to the wave of Filipino fans who have followed her from city to city all summer. Let's talk about how each of them arrived here. Eala came into Cincinnati as the tournament's 17th seed, the highest seeding of her career, and after first round bye she made quick work of Romania's Elena Ruse. She dropped her opening service game, then reeled off game after game, closing out the first set and racing ahead in the second before a lightning delay stopped play. Ruse, dealing with a foot injury, could not return, handing Eala the win by retirement. It was not the finish anyone wanted, but the tennis before the stoppage was close to flawless. Her return numbers were staggering, well over 70% on both first and second serve return points. Anisimova, meanwhile, dispatched Turkish rising star Zeynep Sönmez in straight sets, flattening out her ground strokes and taking time away before her opponent could ever settle in. When she plays like that, she is one of the hardest people on tour to share a court with. The stakes here stretch well past the single match. Whoever wins is projected to face Wimbledon champion Linda Noskova next, a player who already owns 2 convincing wins over Eala this season. And if Eala keeps advancing beyond that, the road gets even steeper. A possible quarterfinal against Jessica Pegula, the very player she beat in the Washington final, then a semifinal against Sabalenka-level competition waiting further down the draw. It is a brutal gauntlet, which is exactly why this 3rd-round match feels less like an early hurdle and more like a must-win. So, who are these two, really? Eala is left-handed, and that detail matters more than people realize. She came up through the Rafa Nadal Academy, built her name as a junior Grand Slam champion, and turned that promise into results faster than almost anyone expected. This season alone, she has produced a Wimbledon run that put the whole tour on notice, a maiden WTA title in Washington earned by beating a top 3 player, and a deep run in Toronto where the crowd noise got so loud fans started nicknaming the venue after her home country. Her lefty forehand lets her dictate rallies from any corner, and her return game has been elite all summer. The question is whether her aggression holds up against someone who can match her power, and then some. Because the 2 times she has run into that kind of opponent this year, she has come up short. Anisimova's story is one of the more remarkable in the sport right now. She reached a Grand Slam semifinal as a teenager, then stepped away from tennis entirely to protect her mental health, a decision that later inspired other players to speak about doing the same. Her return produced 2 big titles last year, a Wimbledon final and a US Open final, pushing her into the top 5 for the first time. This year has been messy, a coaching split, a wrist injury that cost her the clay season, a rusty French Open exit, but on hard courts, where her flat, heavy ball striking finds its truest home, she remains one of the most dangerous players anywhere in the draw. What makes this such a compelling puzzle is how much their games actually overlap. Both are baseline aggressors who like the ball early and flat. Both end points on their own terms rather than grinding them out, which means this will come down to who executes cleaner under pressure and who wins the first strike battle. Eala's left-handed angles are a genuine wrinkle. Anisimova has not faced many high-level lefties this season, and that wide serve into the ad court can scramble patterns built over years against right-handers. The counter to that is raw physicality. When Anisimova's ball striking is fully switched on, very few players can absorb and redirect that kind of pace, and Eala, still physically maturing at 21, may feel that in longer rallies. A few smaller factors could tip things too. Eala's second round win ended early, so she arrives fresher without a grueling three-setter behind her. The crowd will lean heavily her way, and playing in front of that kind of energy against a higher-ranked opponent still searching for her best form can absolutely swing tight moments. And Cincinnati has already seen rain interrupt both their runs once, so weather remains a wild card nobody can plan around. So can Eala actually win this? Yes, and the case is stronger than a simple ranking comparison suggests. On paper, resume, and ranking favor Anisimova, and if she plays anywhere near her best 2025 tennis, she is the more dangerous ball striker and the more experienced closer. That has to be respected. But form is not just a number beside your name, it is a direction. Right now, Eala's direction points sharply upward, while Anisimova is still rebuilding toward the player she was 18 months ago. Eala arrives with a title over a top-3 opponent, a deep Wimbledon run, and 7 wins in her last 8 matches, playing with full belief in front of a crowd that will be entirely in her corner. This is not just a match she can win. This is a match she looks built for.